Comes Alex Young hoping to lay a quick time down in qualifying. Oh, he's hit the wall! That's a big smash here in qualifying in Macau. That could cost him the title. And amazingly walks away from that smash. Great to see him unharmed. René Koneberg is one of those people that just makes things happen. German by birth, he was sent to China to help with the development of the Audi brand in the region. But very quickly, he figured out how best to promote Audi in Asia through motorsport. In 2012, he introduced the one-make Audi R8 LMS Cup, the first such event the iconic German manufacturer had undertaken anywhere in the world, and the series was an almost instant success.
Motorsport is not really established here in Asia, especially in China. Here in Hong Kong or in Macau, you have a high density of RRS, so high performance vehicles. So a lot of people really love motorsport, they love fast cars, but there are not a lot of platforms there. We looked at it and we said, okay, there are two elements. One is actually to develop motorsport as a platform. The second element is actually to develop young Asian drivers and bring them up onto an international level. Phoenix Team Asia was, for me, actually a natural step now in the development of motorsport in Asia.
It started in 2015 when Ernst and Marci started talking. They had the idea of doing something together. Ernst always wanted to expand out of Europe, doing some racing activities outside Europe.
Marci is my partner also in this business here. He gave me a lot of opportunities, ideas, what we can do, how we can mix the driver lineup, and for sure he's a very, very big help.
We are very successful in Europe. We established a very professional team on a very high level. We try to establish the same now in Asia.
They win all 24 hours race and 12 hours buffers and DTM champions. They have the experience on the car side. We have the experience on the driver side, so this is a good match.
Everywhere in the world when you are racing, when you are high-level motorsport or high-level sport, it's everywhere the same. There's a bit different from the culture, how the races are going on, but in the end, the goal is to win and want to show that we are one of the best teams. I have really good people, good engineers, good mechanics, and we have the right car, we have the right drivers. If you have the package together, you can win all over the world.
Alex Young and Marci Li have been on a parallel path for more than 3 decades. Fierce rivals who have come together on the track many, many times. The two Asian motorsport pioneers joined forces in 2016 with the development of Phoenix Racing Asia, laying the foundations of a formidable team.
Marci and I've had conversations, we were not exactly spring chickens anymore, so what's the next step? And he had this opportunity to do it, and I was always like, Marci, you have to do it. Marci's very good at putting people together. That's what you really need as a team owner. That sort of man management is also very good, very important skill. I'm so glad he did it. As a team boss, he's evolved so much over the half year, 1 year we've been racing as well.
Alex and me, we share very different opinion, but we always share the same vision. When some part of me that I'm missing, Alex is there. But Alex sometimes that he missing some of the fire or spark, and I'm there. So we match each other quite nicely. We think very differently, but we work very closely. But we work very good also.
Marci's a special man. He always tries his best, he's always honest, always tries to shoot straight. He's not perfect, none of us are perfect, but he's always been aware of his bits he's not so hot on, and he's a real go-getter. So even though we've fought in the past, there's always been an honesty, a heat of battle thing. Yeah, we're fighting each other, yeah, we've come to blows a few times, but it's always at the end of it going, okay, yeah, that was my fault. Or No, I'm not happy about it, and this is why. You know, straight into each other's faces. We don't go around and harbour stuff. Marchi doesn't harbour stuff. You know, when he's angry, you know it, and that's good. And that's something I've learned from him is to try and take that and deal with it straight away.
I have to say I really rate Alex very highly, and I personally believe he's an extremely talented race driver. He was successful in his career, but if you look at Formula One and other races, he was not so successful as he could have been, because he has the talent. And there were a lot of things like he wasn't in the right team, etc., etc.
In your life, you know, not talking about only Formula One, you know, you miss a lot of things. You can't have them all. When I look back my career, maybe I would test Formula One, but I don't think I will race in Formula One like Alex, because I never come with a package. I'm so naive to just use my talent to go through all the things. I win Formula Campus first time in Formula Car, 8 race I win 8. In Formula BMW, 14 race I win 12. But then you go to Europe, then you will see the world is not that small. The world is competitive. The world is cold. You miss the chance, you miss the chance. Now I driving 5 years with Audi. You know, I learn a lot in the whole process, and also be a professional. I train a lot now, but you know, time is just passing you by. So I don't want to be saying that, oh, I regret to drive one time Formula One. This doesn't mean anything to me. Maybe people say that now you say that you don't think you miss it, but really, the world is still moving. The sun will still come up.
First Formula One race was very special. You know, first time I got in a Formula One car was very special. But that first Formula One race, you know, was at Monza, and packed out grandstands. It's Michael Schumacher era, so you could hear the roar of the crowd through your helmet. And Formula One cars are not quiet; they're noisy. You know, revs at 18, 19,000 RPM, and you can still hear the crowd through your helmet. That's pretty special. And I do remember allowing myself one period, like a 5-second period, you know, on the warm-up lap, where I just kind of went, try to soak it in, look at the crowd, and look, I'm in a frigging Formula One race. Pretty freaking cool. The hangover of Formula One was tough to get over, you know what I mean? It's quite interesting to think about it now. I got a lot more perspective. Everyone's going, oh, you made Formula One, you must be so happy. That's the furthest thing away from what I was thinking. I didn't want to make Formula One. I wanted to be a Formula One world champion. So everything about that Formula One thing for me was a huge failure. There was never one moment where I enjoyed, being in Formula One. You're always looking to the next thing. To get to this sort of level, you have to be obsessed. People go, oh, passion, and I go, passion's nice, but that's crap. It's all about being obsessed by it, single-minded determination, and you have to be slightly unbalanced, to be honest, to want to do that. So when you do get to Formula One and you get spat out the back at the end of it, it's a huge hangover to deal with. It was very hard to try and survive that, and I had to adjust mental parameters in my head to deal with it. And I got through it okay, pretty much largely unscathed. I look back and actually think that I did a pretty good job. You know, you must remember that it came from a part of the world that had no idea anything about Formula One. So to get there was pretty special, and I think actually, all things considered, I did a very good job. Do I want to be back in Formula One? God, no.
Whilst Alex and Marchi are in the twilight of their groundbreaking careers, one of the new generation of stars in Phoenix Racing Asia team, following the path forged by these two elder statesmen, was Hong Kong's Sean Thong. He became the latest piece in Rene Koneberg's grand plan for Asia, and there was no better candidate for the role of junior development driver for the team. With Marchi Lee as his mentor, the 20-year-old was the perfect addition.
It was great to see that Sean actually developed from a very short career actually in racing now to come to GT Asia, and beside Marchi actually winning. So the package together, Marchi and Sean, what we always had in mind, actually worked, and that's fantastic. The program took 2 years actually to develop, and then when you see finally in GT Asia it comes all together, then you think, okay, I've done a lot of things right, but by the end of the day it's the driver.
I've overcome a lot in the first few years. So I started with Formula cars and went to Formula 3, which at that time it was a really huge competition for me. Motorsport, it's about money. I can't deny that. And a lot of drivers who had talent haven't got the chance. So I feel really lucky and really thankful to be in this position but I think it also takes talent, and I need to prove it.
He gets a lot of training from our instructors. He's working very close with Marci together. He's learning. But the other part of the skills, also developing his personality and developing his thinking.
He's a very nice boy. He studied good. He listened to his parents. 20 years old me, not even can speak to me.
Marci is the first Hong Kong racing driver I've known of. He is definitely an icon for Hong Kong racing driver and even Asia. So it's actually my pleasure to race with him and to have Marci to be my mentor.
Sean is in the age now where he's getting more and more established in GT racing. He's getting more experience. He had the experience already in Europe with our program. Now his experience is getting more and more into Asia. I think he could be faster than Marci and also faster than Alex.
With a new team to manage and an all-new Audi R8 LMS GT3 car, Phoenix Racing Asia had little time to find their feet, with two major championship season openers back-to-back, ahead of the treacherous Nürburgring 24-hour race in Germany, all within the space of just 3 weeks. But this was just the start, as the team worked their way towards the GT Cup in Macau, the season-ending jewel in the crown of Asian motorsport.
Away we go here for the GT Asia Championship 2016. Marci Lee holds the lead.
The very first event for the brand new team came in South Korea, with Phoenix Racing Asia debuting two new Audi R8 LMS GT3s in the region's leading GT championship, GT Asia. Despite limited time to prepare two immaculate V10 powered R8s, Phoenix Racing Asia competed against the best drivers and teams in Asia to record a pole position for Marci Lee and two solid finishes just outside the podium. Less than a week later, Phoenix Racing was back in action in Shanghai, China, for the start of the 5th season of the Audi R8 LMS Cup.
2016 Audi R8 LMS Cup season is underway, and this year could see a changing of the guard, with the young guys taking the battle to the veterans of the series.
Once again, Marci Lee and Alex Young, with 3 championships between them, went head-to-head, this time at the site of the Chinese Formula One Grand Prix, the Shanghai International Circuit.
Alessio Picarello's under fire from the two-time champion, and Alex Young isn't giving him an inch. The young Belgian, though, is not giving up, and they make contact on the exit at turn 11, and that's opened the door now for KOU and Frankie Chung. Marci Lee and former DTM star Rahel Fryer battling all the way down to the final stages of this race. Neither are willing to give a quarter as they come down to the final corner.
Alex Young and Marci Lee both made the podium across the two 30-minute races, but they didn't have long to celebrate before turning their attention to the demanding 24-hour test of endurance that lay ahead of them at Germany's famed Nürburgring.
I'm running a team as well as a driver, but everybody from Audi and even Ants was asking me, oh, you still got it, huh? When I get pole in GT Asia. When I finished second, Ben Goose was asking, you still got it, huh? Yes, I still got it, thank you.
In 2015, against all the odds, the first all-Asian team entered what is arguably the toughest GT event in the world. The grueling 24-hour marathon around Germany's notorious 24-kilometre Nürburgring circuit, otherwise known as the Green Hell. Lining up against more than 150 opponents, Alex Young, Marci Lee, rising star Sean Thong and Chinese motorsport pioneer Frankie Chung finished an incredible 12th overall. In 2016 they were back, and this time the goal was a top 10 finish, but the Green Hell had other ideas.
It's very emotional for me, I have to say, having all the people here and also having the same driver lineup from last year coming back here to the 24-hour race. Everybody's extremely motivated. Expectations are quite high, so I'm hoping for the top 10. The weather is obviously a tricky issue, so we will see how much rain is coming down, but I'm extremely excited about it.
Driving into the car, I only have done 3 laps, and in the practice and in the qualifying total. So for sure we're taking a little bit more time to get into the rhythm, but I'm feeling fine. Starting the car and starting the race on behalf of our team is a great honor. Starting position now, we are much more further back, and the race is for 24 hours, not for 30 minutes.
This was one of my dreams, to come here with the Asian team. And I'm very, very proud actually to have Alex here.
Yeah, I'm privileged to have been involved in the whole project since day one. It's a real privilege to be here. Greatest race in the world, arguably, definitely the greatest racetrack in the world.
You said to me you were actually even scared yesterday.
We went around on Thursday, and I went out for my first few laps. I had just forgotten how scary this place is. You spend hours watching the videos, because I haven't been here in a year, but you forget how much up and down there is. You're airborne 7-8 times a lap at like over 250 kilometers per hour. You forget about that. Just going down the straights, you're shaking so much from the up and down. You have to relax your hands on the steering wheel to stop your hands from bumping the steering wheel and putting you into the wall. And these are happening at crazy speeds every second of every lap. So it is very daunting here.
For rain, it's really difficult here, and also if the rain hit at the night, it's really extremely difficult condition. Of course, I think for a driver like Alex and Frankie and me, we have more experience than Sean, so we should take those turns. Experience-wise, we can't really match the expert here, and their preparation is big. We try to remain as a team and do our own pace.
More than 150 of the world's best teams started the 2016 running of the Nürburgring 24-hour race. The all-Asian team led off the start by the experienced Frankie Cheung. A cautious approach across the opening laps was followed by a strong push by the Chinese driver. But just as he began to work his way towards the top 20, the heavens opened and Mother Nature unleashed a deluge never before seen at the 24-hour event.
Well, and off the road, this is really wet. Wow, 3 off straight away. Oh no, more off. Oh, blimey, 3 off. The race is being stopped. That's the block track. That's why we're stopped. Now it all starts to make sense, doesn't it? Often you can sort of second guess what the clerk of the course might decide to do, but in this context, how do you sort this out? How do you get everybody moving again?
The very fact that Frankie was able to return the car to the pits was a miracle in itself.
I had a big moment, and I was lucky that I saved it, and there was a 3 car in front of me that I saw they were in the wall. It was at really the worst area that I was in. I think all the team had technical issues with the thunderstorm, so all the radio was not working. So I went in the corner, completely unexpected, and it was a difficult moment, but luckily that we are here. This is typical of Nürburgring, and you get a half of the circuit full dry, and suddenly you go into a corner with a thunderstorm full of rain coming down. We are lucky that we have the car back in one piece, and now we have the race stopped, and later on we will have a driver briefing, see what would be the strategy.
After a 3-hour break to allow the weather to clear and make the necessary repairs to the circuit, the teams finally returned to racing. Visibility was difficult, but Marchi Lee used his immense experience to work his way carefully forward once more. Strategy had 2 of the team's experienced drivers negotiating some of the difficult opening legs of the race, with Marchi pitting just ahead of dusk to allow the team's youngest member, Sean Thong, to complete a few laps in the fading daylight before the onset of darkness.
Basically, you don't see anything. You don't see anything, and you can't go full throttle because you have to guess where's the other car. And for me, it's another really experience, and here, and it's kind of like a nightmare. The problem is how many risks that you want to take in the first place. So, I don't take any risks, and I won't go through the night. After the lap inside, and it's already 2 hours that I drove, I bring the car back before the night coming, so hand to Sean. Then Sean can learn some laps now, not to go out directly dark. Then this is the plan.
Progress continued for the number 10 Audi R8, Thong posting some impressive lap times. though the young Hong Kong driver also had to contend with the management of his wet weather tyres as the track continued to dry. But despite his relative lack of experience, he delivered a mature drive to bring the team right back into contention. As Thong's stint came towards its conclusion, the 20-year-old was consistently within reach of the leader's time. But despite a flawless drive to that point, one of the other cars leaving pit lane spun him around, very nearly bringing his run to a premature end.
I really got a good feeling on the wet, but then the track really started to dry. Just tried to get into my own rhythm in the last lap. There's Mercedes coming out of the pit should have let me on, and right in the corner then I got hit, which is really a pity that our car's some damage.
Ultimately, the responsibility of leading the team into the night fell on former Formula One and Le Mans star Alex Young, Malaysian driver picked as the ideal candidate to challenge the difficulties of the green hell during the night, a time when experience would come into play and when the challenges were at their greatest. Young took the number 10 Audi out into the depths of the Nürburgring night, but very quickly the experienced Malaysian recognised a problem, one that would have a profound effect on their race.
To be honest, that I have not much more information, and I was supposed to follow Alex's things. And once he's finished, he's completed his duty, then I will be jumping in the car. Everyone as a driver, we are pushing to the limit. For Alex, he already putting a lot of effort to the team, and starting his first things directly in the night for sure is very difficult. Now we just hope that Alex is okay. Racing is racing, and especially that we are getting faster and getting to the front now more and more, and the competition is getting stronger and stronger, and we also have to push more. We are not here to participate, we are here to race. So it's very little things that can go wrong, and sometimes you need luck, sometimes the luck is not on your side.
In the next episode of Road to Macau.
Oh, contact on the exit of the corner. That's opened the door for Frankie Cheng, and now KOU. Picarillo's not giving up, he's on the grass, but Jung won't give way. They're locked together on the exit, and they've both gone wide. Marchi Lee is gone. More contact at the top of the hill.
Both cars are damaged, we didn't finish, but I think at least justice is done. He gets a 10-grid penalty.
Banging doors on the run down to turn 2. There's nothing in this. But you can see the tension between the two of them. It's evident as they stand there side by side.
Away we go then, out go the lights. We are racing and give her up. Marchi Lee now leads this race here in Gururang. The gap's still 2 seconds. Sean Thong's going to take victory for he and Marchi Lee here. Again, their second of the year. Round 6 is won by the Audi number 5.
Thong and Lee in the Phoenix Racing Asia team.
Championship home.
The veteran is bullying his way to the front of this field.